Alvin, thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
You raised a very interesting question yesterday.
Yeah.
For the audience's benefit, could you just read it out, please?
So, I was reading chapter 1 of the How to Win Friends and Influence People book by Dale Carnegie.
So it's this book
Yeah,
that
it's
you
that book.
that you read,
Yeah.
and it raised a question.
Yeah. So, in this book, the first principle he says, don't criticize, condemn, or complain.
Okay.
Because most of the time when you tell people what they did wrong, they tend to birth like negative and dismissive tendencies towards you, rather than improving on what you told them.
Okay.
Is that truly how it happens? Because is that how directional praise follows the rule to help it?
I didn't use directional praise based on this, but yes, it is true what he's saying. When we resort to criticizing, when we resort to blaming, when we resort to, lecturing, belittling, then the person receiving this criticism feels abused, feels belittled, feels he's being picked on, and so the intention of the person who is criticizing is what?
To tell them what they did wrong in order to help them do something right.
Yeah. So the intention for a boss is to tell, let's say you have a habit of coming late, and 99.9% of bosses will say, Alvin, how many times have I told you to come on time? Why don't you make it a point? You're such a bad boy. You're no good worker. This is your last warning. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The intention of the boss is to make you aware that you need to come on time.
Yeah.
But the tone he used, the belittling he did, switches you off. Here goes Harish in his rant. I have to tolerate it for a few minutes and then keep doing what I was doing. It happens with parents. John, how many times have I told you not to mess up your room? Clean after your play time. You always leave your toys everywhere. You always leave your clothes everywhere. Blah, blah, blah. The intention is to try and make John be responsible for cleaning up his room. To keep his clothes and his towel and whatnot tidy. But the tone, the way of doing it is so destructive, so abusive, so belittling, that the child says, let this tornado pass. And I'll keep doing what I was doing. It doesn't motivate them to say, it doesn't make them understand that they have to change. Instead, if we did it the directional praise ways, where you have to catch people doing it right. Let's say this, late coming. Instead of, saying, why are you always late? If I just said, Alvin, last week you are 1 hour late. This week, it's half an hour improvement. You are only half an hour late. What message does it give you?
To come early. So he highlights what you did right, and you feel instinctively to do it again.
Yes, because instinctively we are designed to please, especially to people in power and authority, to your boss, to your mother, to your teacher. You want to please them. Yeah. The stupid mistake that people in power and authority do is that they resort to the stick. rather than the carrot. Catching them doing it right is the carrot. Criticizing, blaming is the stick. And every time you hit a donkey with a stick, there is repercussions. There is a vibration that you will also have to tolerate. And on repeated hitting, the skin becomes thick, becomes tolerant to the stick.
Okay.
And your hitting becomes ineffective. The harder you hit, the more repercussions you are getting.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead, if you just use that stick and hang a sweet smelling carrot in front of it, you don't need to resort to violence. And violence comes in three forms. It starts with the thought, then verbally, and then physically. People, your teacher or your parents, do not resort to hitting you straight away. They first think that you're wrong. Then they verbalize it. How many times have I told you? Now I need to cane you. That's the chronology of punishment. Instead of saying, okay, I need to punish him, I need to discipline him, I need to, reprimand him. If they turned it around and said, okay, what is it that he needs to learn? He needs to learn to be punctual. What can I do apart from criticizing, apart from blaming? This does not come naturally. It is not common sense. Directional praise is not common sense. If I was to praise Alvin for being a good listener, there are two ways I would praise him. We all know that praise is the greatest motivator. Even, famously, Shakespeare used to say that I can survive on, without wages, but not without applause. Yeah. And we've all heard that praise is the greatest motivator, but we don't know how to do it well. Most of us use evaluative praise, and this is how it goes. Alvin, if I was to praise you for being a good listener, Alvin, you're a fantastic, brilliant, superb listener. I've enjoyed talking to you. Most people wouldn't even add this, I enjoyed talking to you. They'll just use higher and higher adjectives. Directional praise goes like this. Alvin, you've maintained eye contact with me. You've been asking me probing questions. You've been nodding in the conversation. That shows me you're a good listener. So, of the two praises, which one did you like and why?
I like the second one because it's evidence-based.
What evidence did I show you?
You said I nod. You said I ask probing questions. And you said I keep eye contact with you.
Good. Yes. And those are the things that I want you to do more of. So I've praised you for the things that I want you to do more of, and instinctively we are designed to please. So the percentage of you doing more of it has increased by 1,000%.
Okay. Yeah.
And if I could keep criticizing you, I could criticize you 1,000,000,000 times and it will have no effect. If the expectation of parents or people in power and authority, bosses, is that by criticizing my worker, he will be motivated to do the right thing. If that was the case, I've been criticized throughout my lifetime up over 1,000,000,000 times. I should be better than Jesus. If that, thought was true.
Yeah.
But it isn't. Instead, catching them doing it right. There used to be a time when, my daughter, we were teaching my daughter how to, sit at the table. She has a tendency of crouching. And I was teaching her how to eat with fork and knife and all that, table manners. And instead of criticizing her, I would go and bang my chair and say, "Dad is sitting upright." What do you think she would do?
She would ignore it and stuff.
No, she would also sit upright. Because I'm not criticizing her, I'm just setting an example.
Oh, okay.
She's been criticized and she's been told she needs to sit upright a million times. Instead of repeating the same thing again, what I'm doing is I'm setting an example. Dad is sitting upright. Kushali straightens up.
So, what do you think about the saying, "Spare the rod, damage the child"? Because it says, like, if you spare the caning and stuff like that, you would damage the child by not teaching them the right habits. Do you think while they were saying that could have been a little bit wrong, or besides the point, or the wrong way to?
I'm not saying that people should not be punished. They should not be. There is a place for punishment. There is a place for reprimand. But we just use that one stick only. Yeah. Okay. If you keep disobeying road traffic rules, you're going to get into an accident. So you'll have natural consequences, or you'll get a penalty. So a penalty is a punishment to make you aware to follow traffic rules. Yeah. So there is a place for it as well. I'm not saying that there isn't a place for it. But if you want to teach something effectively, then directional praise is a better vehicle. I would say, in terms of all the vehicles, it would be the fastest vehicle. It would be, in science terms, it would be the rocket. The caning is a wheelbarrow. Yeah. That needs to be pushed every time.
Yeah. Yes.
Has no self-start, no self-propulsion, no nothing.
Like those bikes where you have to kick to actually start the bike. That's the caning.
Yeah.
Every time you have to kick for it to start.
So that's an ineffective way to leadership.
Yes.
If you want to show leadership, then good leaders appreciate and reinforce good behavior rather than criticize bad behavior. It is the leader's choice what leadership tools he wants to use. Does he want to use the hammer? Or does he want to use a sweet-smelling carrot? The stick or the carrot, it's up to you. I found that the sweet-smelling carrot is far more effective, because instinctively we were designed to please.
Yes.
We just need to give them the room to do so, without rushing to it, without resorting to violence. Because reprimanding, punishing is a form of violence. There are three forms of violence: thought,
Verbal.
thinking bad about somebody, then it comes to verbal, and then to physical.
Yes.
So they're all bad. And if there is a balance that one needs to keep. So in the Soviet Union times, everyone was spying on each other. Everybody, the system was very harsh. And when something is very strict, very harsh, very rigid, then people resent it and want to escape it. So there used to be, hundreds of thousands of people fleeing the SSR, Soviet Union.
Yes.
because they felt constrained. And then if you have a system where the police officer is saying this, stop, and a bike guy goes under him and he has no consequences for it, then people start pissing on you. So not too hard, not too soft, the moderate way, the middle way.
Yes, that's very good. So some people, some leaders and stuff like that think they need to micromanage the employees or the people they're working with. Does the directional praises help them, like the employees work better without him having to micromanage everything done?
It is the best tool to empower people. Micromanaging is both time consuming and ineffective. You have to empower, you have to trust people, to do things on their own. Because my time, my abilities and my availability is limited. If I have 30 staff and I have to micromanage all of them, I'll be doing nothing. And I'll be good at nothing. So, I used to manage sites at, construction projects and construction sites in London. And, I would go on the site on a Monday morning, just for half an hour. And I'll only speak to one person, the site agent. I'll say hello to everybody else, but only speak to one person, the site agent, Derek or Vasil. And I'll ask him, Vasil, what is your program for this week? I wouldn't even give him a program. I would ask him to give me his program. And it was by design. And he would say, this week I'm going to finish off the roof because it's going to rain next week, and I need to make sure that none of the other build is disturbed by rain or is spoiled by rain. Then he would say, I'm going to do first fixing for the first floor, and I'm going to finish off the screeding on the floor. So I'll go back on Saturday or Friday when I have the wedge packets ready. Again, I wouldn't distribute the wedge packets. I would just give it to Derek. He has to distribute it because the person who pays becomes the boss. I want to empower Derek to become the boss, or Vasil to become the boss on site. I am Vasil's and Derek's boss, but he is the boss of the rest. Instead of micromanaging and saying, okay, this is the target for this week, your target for this week, there are Gantt charts, there are flow charts, there is work progress charts, there is everything. And they've been trained to read it and follow it. So there is no need to micromanage that way. And everything that happens on site is his responsibility. He needs to fix it, not me. And that way I could manage a number of sites. And for a construction business owner, his biggest priority is to make sure that he has a full pipeline of jobs waiting to be done. So if the pipeline breaks, the team has to be dismantled, and it will never be put back together in the same way. So my job as a construction business owner, it was to make sure that I'm bringing in new business. I'm meeting with clients, I'm meeting with architects, I'm meeting with surveyors, I'm meeting with so to ensure that there is enough pipeline for the team of 30 or 60 builders to go to. So again, it's priorities. I can easily find site agents, site managers, and they're readily available and abundant. Good workers, there is no shortage of good workers in the world. There is no shortage of talented, skilled people. But there is a huge shortage of entrepreneurs. It was more important for me to be the entrepreneur and them to be the managers of site and of the projects. So, but can you read that quotation that you found on this book, for the audience's benefit?
Um, so you mean when someone does something wrong and you criticize them about it, it births negative and defensive tendency towards you.
Yeah. So by me criticizing you, being in power and authority,
Yes.
you may be powerless, but you're not powerless to think.
Yes.
Yeah. You may be powerless to speak out, but internally, the clock will be ticking. Why is he picking on me? Why does he do this all the time in front of everybody else? Why is he belittling me? These thoughts are continuously. So they're not even listening. They're consumed with these thoughts. So the objective of the person who is saying what he's saying is already lost. The battle has been lost. It is true that criticism builds resentment, it builds hatred, it builds, many things. And for those reasons alone, resorting to criticism is a destructive way. So, if you want better results, you want better productivity, then resort to praising. And in praising, not evaluatively, but directionally. You have to notice and mention what they're doing right, catch them doing it right, and they'll do more of it. I think we can end this conversation with this end note. And for more tips like this, keep watching and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.